What's going on, everyone? My name is Brian Lovelace. I'm the founder of NaviUpgrade.com, and today I'm going to be showing you guys in this 2015 Ford Mustang GT base model how to go from Sync 2 to Sync 3. This customer has actually already gone from 4-inch sync to Sync 2, but would like to go to Sync 3 for Apple Carplay, Android Auto, and just a much better touch interface experience. Since he's gone from Sync to Sync 2, there's going to be a couple differences in the update process and the upgrade process, but fear not, I'm going to guide you through the entire thing. But before we get right on into it, I want to do a quick walk around on this car because it's pretty cool. Let's see. So this is a 2015 Mustang, and it was a base model. And he's added quite a few carbon fiber bits, a diffuser, and one of my favorite things is he's got the Recaro seats. So these seats are really, really nice. And then when we go under the hood, he's making all that big boy power under there. Look at that intake manifold. Got some catch cans. This thing's pretty sick. All right, enough of that. Let's get right on in to how to do this upgrade. So for this upgrade, you're going to need a trim toolkit, a 7mm nut driver, a T8 Torx screwdriver, and a Sync 2 to Sync 3 kit from NaviUpgrade.com. This is Sync 3 without navigation. You can see the module back there. And then we've got our GPS antenna, a single port USB hub, and a power adapter for the USB hub. So before I get started here, I want to let everybody know that our kits from NaviUpgrade.com come pre-programmed and ready to go for your car. So if you're doing any sort of upgrade, we'll get you taken care of so that you're fully set up and ready to go. Let's install this thing. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our trim tool to remove this piece right here. But to remove this piece right here, we actually have to get a piece right here and a piece right here loose. So first, to get this piece off, we're going to push in right here, open up our glove compartment, and then we're going to pry back on this guy right here until it kind of pops loose, and that'll just wiggle free just like that. Yours might be a little bit more difficult, especially if your car hasn't been disassembled before. Since this car has actually already been upgraded from from base model Sync to Sync 2, this owner's already taken this apart, so things are a little bit looser here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this again, and I'm going to kind of start working my way from right here towards, I'm just guiding the clips. And now we get over here. And over here, there's actually a clip that holds this piece on with this right here. So we're just gonna get nice and snug in there, just like that, and get that unclipped. And what we can do is we can continue our clip removal process. All right, so that's off just like that, and we can set this aside in a safe place. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to get this panel off right here. We're actually going to take this off on both sides, the passenger and driver side. So I'm just going to kind of pull from the back just like that and release it just like that. Next, I'm going to take my 7mm nut driver, and we're just going to remove these two screws right here. And I believe that was enough to set it free, but let's take them all the way out. I'm just going to put our screws in our cup holder here. All right, so now we're over on the driver's side, and we're just going to pull off the same panel over on this side. There we go. Set this panel aside, and then we're going to grab our 7mm nut driver again and take these two screws out. Set it in our cup holder, and then there's another one right here. And just gonna loosen that just like that. All right, for the next step, we're just going to take this little tray out, just like that. And we're going to remove the two 7mm screws right there. All right, so the next step is going to be opening up our little cubby back here. And what you can see is a big old mess, which is fine. Normally, you would have a Sync 2 USB hub back in here, just like that, kind of sitting in here just like that. Unfortunately, it looks like we're missing a size adapter and maybe a cigarette lighter plug, power plug back here. But that's okay, we're going to replace this with a Sync 3 hub, just like this. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our pry tool and we're going to kind of pry in between here, just like that. And it might be a little bit more difficult to pop out, but we're going to get it. So what we need to do is we actually need to turn the car on and turn the windshield wipers off first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my foot on the brake and I'm going to put it into sport mode. So now that that's popped out, we can actually kind of lift up on this just like this. And we're going to continue to lift up. So now we're just going to kind of wiggle until these front tabs break loose, just like that. And then we can scoot this all forward just like that. Now we can remove this plate, which gives us more access down here. So the entire goal is to get this little trim piece out right here. Because this piece is so tight up in there, I'm going to use a pick to pop it out just like that. Now we've got our plate and we can set that aside. Now, as you can see, there's 2 more 7mm screws down there. We're going to start taking those out now. And we'll do the other side. Then we got the 2 7mm screws up here. Now we can grab from the top up here and pry back, just like that. And we can set this down just like that. And wow, that is a very dirty screen. So now what we have is 4 7mm screws right here. All right, so now that we have those 4 screws out, we're going to remove the display. All right, so to remove the USB clip, we're just gonna push down on it just like that. That's our USB. And then we've got our 54-pin APIM connector here. So all we need to do is we need to push down on the tab and swing it this way. And then that'll disconnect it just like that. So now what we need to do is we need to port the brackets on the side of the screen over onto our Sync 3 display. So the easiest way to tell is the bottom is where the APIM connector is down here, the black 54-pin connector. So we're going to make sure that this bracket on this side goes on to this side of this screen. So let's get right on into that. All right, so there's the bottom of our display here. And we're just going to make sure that this goes on the same way. Now we're going to grab the other side. This is our T8 screwdriver, by the way. Then we're going to port this one onto this one as well. So all right, so now you can see that we have our Sync 3 display and APIM brackets ported over. So now all we need to do is reconnect everything in the back here. All right, so now we just need to remove this piece up here. So we're just going to pry up on it just like that. And it should come up pretty easily. You might have a speaker up here and you might not. But either way, there should be enough room to stick a little GPS antenna right there. This is your factory GPS antenna actually that is used for Sync 2. That is not used for Sync 3. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our 3M sticky pad provided in the NaviUpgrade kit, and we're going to stick it on the bottom of our GPS antenna, just like that. I'm going to peel it, just like that, and we're going to place it right there. This does not need to be in any specific position here. It just needs to only have plastic or glass above it so it can get the GPS signal through. All right, so now that we have our GPS antenna in place, we're going to take this and we're going to route it back down through here, and we can just tuck the excess right back in here. So as you can see, this comes out right here, and now we're ready to reinstall Sync 3. All right, so when we go to reinstall Sync 3, what we're going to do is we're going to connect our GPS antenna right here, and this little pinch connector is going to be facing down. So that's the wrong way. This way is the right way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our USB connector and clip it in just like that, and then we're going to take our APIM connector and we're going to push it in. Oopsie, sorry. We're going to push it in and we're going to feel the lever start to move back, and as it moves back we can grab it and then lock it into place. Once it's locked into place, we can kind of tuck all the wires back behind here, and we can start re-screwing the screen into the system. There we go, now it's in place, and now we've got 4 screws to replace right here. Remember, this is a 7mm nut driver. All right, now that the screen's back in, we can begin reassembly of the dash. All right, so I'm just gonna take our tray and put it back where it belongs right now. Just like that. And now we can begin to work on getting this back in place. So all we just need to do is just go like that, give it a couple pats, just like that, and then make sure that everything is in place back here and set in. Now we can put the car back into park and we can turn it off. All right, so now that that's done, we can focus on putting these screw pieces in and putting these in right here. Don't forget your 2 screws down here in your little tray. And then we've got 2 screws on the trim itself. Sometimes your cigarette lighter wants to pop out, so I just removed it earlier. So I'm just going to connect it back in, and then I'm going to see that it flips up just like that. So I'm going to push it in and align it so that the flap is made to flip up. And then now it's in there nice and snug, and the flap still pops up just like that. There we go. Flip that down. Now we can take our little mat tray thing and stick it back in here. Nice and snug. And then, oops, actually that's a little bit beforehand. What we need to do is we need to put this little trim piece back in place as well. So we're just going to get it in just like that and snap it in place. And now we can put our tray back in just like that. All right, there we go. Now we don't want to forget that we have 2 screws on the upper part of the trim. We've got one right here. And we've got one right here. And now we can put our top trim back on. You could have done this before, but there's no rush. And that should just pop back into place just like that. Now we can begin to put this back together, and then we'll do the Sync 3 hub, and then we'll be done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this piece just like this. We're gonna stick it kind of in there and make sure that it's under this piece right here. Then give some firm, solid pressure. And we're gonna clip this guy back in place right here. You'll be able to see there's kind of a clip right here that needs to wiggle up into place. And we will come over here and make sure this is all snug and in place just like that. Very good. And then we are going to come right here and we're going to put this trim piece back on just like that. And now all we have left to do is put these back on. So we've got 4 screws, 2 on either side. All right, so as you remember, we got these 2 screws down here. Let me make sure these go back into place. 1 and a 2. And then we can take this piece and plop it back on here as well. All right, that's tight. And then we're just gonna take this and we're just gonna give some nice, even pressure along it. And it's gonna snap right into place nice and gently there. Now we're gonna go over to the driver's side. All right, so now that we're over on the driver's side, we got 2 screws to put back in here as well. Same thing as on the passenger side. All right, so same thing as on the other side. We're just gonna get this black plastic piece back into position and gently rest it back into place and give some snug, firm pressure on it so that it sticks with those clips. All right, you guys, so the last piece of the puzzle for Sync 3 is going to be the Sync 3 USB hub, which is this guy right here. So what you'll need to do in your car, since this car was a 4-inch to 8-inch conversion, he's actually got the wrong connectors right here. But pretty much in our kit, what we're gonna do is we're going to send you this little adapter that you plug in to the hub just like that. And then this will plug into your factory harness. And then you'll just plug in your 2 USBs right here. So let's just do this really quick, but using his 4-inch to 8-inch plug on his harness here. All right, so as you can see, there's a bit of a mess back here, but that's okay. So here is the end of his 4-inch to 8-inch harness from NaviUpgrade. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug this in just like that, clip it in place. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to take a look at how this is positioned. So this gray connector matches up with this right here. So we're just going to pop it into place just like that. And then we can take our black USB and we're just going to do the same. We're gonna pop that into place as well, just like that. And then normally, I don't know where his went, but there's gonna be a little place for this to all rest into right back here. And it'll rest all nice and snug. If you do need the little piece that comes in this, just let me know in the order notes and I will make sure to get you taken care of. All right, now this car has Sync 3, which is gonna be a much better touch interface for this customer. And we've got all the apps, the settings. It's so much faster than Sync 2. Gosh. All right, so all there is that's left to do is to plug in our phone and test out Android Auto. This will also work with Apple Carplay as well. We just don't have an iPhone. I'm more of an Android guy to test with. So as you can see, we've got 18 minutes to home. Everything works great. We got Android Auto on this car. All right, you guys, this customer now has Sync 3 in their Sync 2 equipped Mustang. So if you have any questions, I'd really appreciate it if you drop them below or send me an email, support@NaviUpgrade.com. I'm always helping people out there. And if you like this video, please be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content just like this. I'd also really appreciate it if you bought any kits from our site, NaviUpgrade.com, if you found this video helpful. We love helping people out and we're really looking forward to helping you out with your project. And until the next one, take care.